I am your host, Zelda, and I will be your host for the next couple of games. I am here with Ulvind, who's about to run some Trackmania for us all, so whenever you're ready, the track is yours.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Trackmania DS. Yes, this is a very unusual site, because when you think of Trackmania, you usually think of the DS game, of the PC game, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. Also, you might notice the DS right here, like the setup with the camera pointed towards the DS. It is going to be relevant. I'm going to explain it during the run. No worries whatsoever. Well, just let's go over the rules of the category. We're going to go towards the platform. We have 5 levels of difficulty. With 3 levels each, which means we are going to have a total of 15 levels to traverse. We're going to do so as fast as possible. Keep in mind those levels are going to be pretty convoluted, and the objective will be to go, of course, as fast as possible, even if it means we have to reset from time to time. Alright, so tech, get ready to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go! So, this game is pretty peculiar here. So this category is pretty much you have some pretty awkward platforms here and there that you have to traverse without respawning. As you can see, there is no timer. We have no time limit to beat. The objective will be to actually finish the tracks without respawning. Oh, we're going to try not to respawn there. And go between the poles. Is it enough? Okay, it's going to be fine. I thought I disconnected the alerts. So yeah, Trackmania on DS is actually pretty good. It's really janky though. It was not made by Nadeo, it was only produced by Nadeo. But it was made by Firebrand Games, who might know for quite a lot of racing games on the DS. And as you can see here on the desert environment, we have already our few obstacles with the holes, the poles right there that you have to avoid. There we go. And as usual, always jumps that you have to make it as well as possible. That was really close. And we are done. Keep in mind the camera is going to be janky. This is going to be a little bit of a problem throughout the run. But we are going to make it work. So here, this part is pretty easy because the run is mostly going to consist of just jumping through all these, jumping through all these ramps. You have to have a certain amount of speed, which I have determined is around 160, a little bit more, a little bit more than 160. There we go, 165. Barely making it. It's about 163. And also, you might notice the spikes on top of the door. That's a speed check as well. So if you go too fast, you will actually hit the spikes and might actually be sent off. So let me drop. There we go. As you can see, speed check. It stopped us. So we pretty much need to cap our speed between like 160 and about 215. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so change circuit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, the game is actually not that bad in terms of frame rate, but the physics engine can sometimes get extremely janky. There we go, just barely passing through this. Let's just hope I won't face through a platform. So here I'm just going to reset this part. It's just easier and it sets you up pretty nicely for this jump right there. Nope. And we're gonna try to do this again. Case in point, yeah, it's, as you can see, it's extremely janky. Just hope, there we go. Come on! Oh, that's slow as molasses. And this part as well is extremely hard not to fail on. So here, we're going to let ourselves go down the platform. Yeah, sometimes you can just clip through the platform, and at that point, it's basically over. Oh god, okay. This part as well, I'm going to try to gain enough speed so it can make it through. This is awkward. Okay, let's try this again. Oh god, yeah. This is slow. I'm aware. Alright, if you want to read anything, plugs, sponsors, donations, the stage is yours.
Alright, well, I would like to remind people that we currently have a Katamari Damacy reroll any % bit war going. You have the chance between choosing the remake or the original, which both options currently have €0 in it. So if you want to see any of these options happen, get your donations in.
Yeah, and yeah, this is a platform any %, which means I can basically ignore finishing in like without respawning, because you have, oh god, you have two. You have two categories. You have the platform any % and the platform 100%. The platform 100%, you have to complete every single one of these tracks in gold, which means without respawning even once. Going to try and just, there we go. And the thing is, the camera sometimes can be really, really obnoxious. Oh, and this is a little bit of a new addition to this Trackmania. It's kind of the engine off block that you can see in all the Trackmania games, except it does not completely kill your momentum when you touch something, let's say. Okay, so here, pretty 195. To be fair, these levels, the rally levels, are pretty much the easiest of the three. Well, technically, if you finish all the tracks without respawning, it's basically a platform 100% and any % world record at the same time. Sadly, I had to respawn more than once for my PB, so okay, here we're going to pray I have enough speed right there. Okay, I have more than enough. Passing through the checkpoints. I mean, we have a lot of checkpoints at least, so it does save us. There we go. There we go. There we go. Also, the reason why I'm playing with my unusual camera setup is, thing is, when I joined the Trackmania DS speedrunning Discord, all the runs that were made on Trackmania DS and that used the original cartridge actually were slightly different. Oh, there we go. Yep. Actually was slightly different because all of them pointed a webcam at the DS, and no one had ever seen like someone use a capture card before. So when I arrived and said, "Oh yeah, I actually have a capture card, so how does it work?" They told me that since they couldn't really verify that I was playing, I needed to have a way that I could prove I was actually using my Nintendo DS. Hence, just me, like my camera, just me pointing at the screen. Okay, just making sure. Because you can fly off very easily in those tracks. So yeah, this is why I have my webcam pointed at my screen. So just for verification purposes. So Desert, this one is a little bit complicated. Lots of ways you can fall through the track. While being on the platforms, mind you. Just making sure, there we go. Just going through there. Like, the game itself is good, but the physics are definitely something else. Just trying... There we go. Taking the physics to our advantage there. Oh, no. Yep, that's what I was wondering. If I wasn't a little bit too on the side. Unfortunate. Oh. Then weaving between those. Trying to go on the left side. Trying to go on the left side again. There we go. Yep. The thing is, if you just tap a little bit too much, you might actually get sent off wildly off and have to restart the section. There we go. That should be better. There we go. And then just going through there. And we are good. Well, it's classic Trackmania, but it's even more janky, somehow. Because to be fair, the original Trackmania games are really janky in the first place. But sometimes in those games, right there, yep. Try to just... There we go. Oh, there we go. That's an example of the little bit janky physics right there. Just trying to make it work. 195, that should be good. So we have one and second jump without any issues. Yeah, sometimes the game lags a little bit behind in terms of frame rate. Ah, it's juice. Oh, that was barely enough. That was barely enough to actually go through. Oh. This one's barely enough as well. There we go. Alright, D1. Okay, so this I'm actually going to attempt to skip. That doesn't save much time, it saves about like maybe 4 or 5 seconds if you do it correctly, so let's try it. There we go. So here we're gonna go on the left. Okay, good. Barely enough. Okay. Oof, that is very close, but we made it through. And the speed check, of course. here. We're going to weave right, left, going on the platform, stopping a little bit. Mostly because if you go a little bit too fast, there's not much runway at this part right here. Oh, yeah, that was barely just not enough. That's fine. Oh, God, okay. So as you can see, landing physics are a little bit too janky sometimes. Oh. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this part... So as you can... So the... Oh, there we go. One of the main gimmicks, of course, of this mode is the first one is always going to be on the stadium environment, second always going to be on the desert, and third one always going to be on the rally environment. It's a little bit slow, but we'll take it. So we're going to just go round. That was close. Then go round again.
Would it be okay if I quickly plucked some more incentives?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Alright, I have just opened up a ton of incentive for you guys. I have for Desperados 3, I have Be Rescued by the Animals. And I also have Visit Nessie. Both of these incentives are each 75 euros to get to. So if you want to see those happen, get your donations in. And then I also have for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run, the character choice. You can choose between Splinter, Raphael, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Casey Jones and April O'Neil. For Redout 2 all boss tracks, I have the Bit War for the forward or reverse boss tracks. Which obviously you can choose between reverse or forward. And then for Stand Repairable, I have another bit war for you, which is the option between either choosing the red door or the blue door.
Ooh.
Every single one of these every single one of these incentives have currently €0 going towards them. So if you want to see any of this happen, get your donations in.
Yeah, don't hesitate to donate. Just going through this last one, and there we go. Alright, so the rally tracks. A little bit of a breath of fresh air after the first two tracks there. I mean, they're still not easy, don't get me wrong, but they're definitely easier than the other two tracks. Mostly because there are no holes to avoid, no poles to avoid, it's just jumping. Oh, that's... okay, that was a little bit too janky, but we made it. Okay, I'm going to just focus there. There we go. Also, the jumps are always at the same distance, pretty much, so if you know the speed you need for a jump, you can just adapt to make sure you won't miss any of the jumps. There we go. For example, here I knew I was going a little bit too fast, so I decided to not push on the accelerator for a little bit. Yeah, using the D-pad for this is absolutely evil. Especially since it is really hard to control. Also, that's a speed check, of course. There we go, just through this part, landing into the checkpoint, Going to go up the ramp to make sure I collect as much speed as possible, because there's another speed check. Oh, there we go. Also, the car tends to get stuck a little bit, like, the rear wheels tend to get stuck a little bit on the road, which makes it for very awkward transitions. And here we're going to just jump into the finish, and there we go. Alright, we have 2 tracks left already. Okay, let me just try and make it, because this one is very hard to weave through. There we go, just the engine off. Might be a little bit too clunky. There we go, just easy does it. Oh, there we go. So basically the engine off block has the property in the DS version. Has a little quirk. And the quirk in question is that if you release the A button at any point, your speed is going to come down to 0. Which is absolutely not the case in the former Trackmania games. So you have to work on using the brakes as best you can. We go here, and then that shouldn't be any issues. Alright, and that will be the very last track. E3, sorry. Again, pretty easy track, all things considered. Oh. Unless you do something like this. The only difference being... There we go. The only difference being that the checkpoint's a little bit further apart. It's fine. We can make it. Oof, the frame rate got a little bit janky there. Oh god. Yeah, I was a little bit too off. That's fine. Okay, we're good. And that was a little... Yeah, it's really, like, platform 100% is a really hard one. Okay, let me focus on this one. If you want to read anything, just go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I have €5 from Killer Chair saying, look at all these wonderful folks going fast. And a special shout out to all of the volunteers keeping this event going. And it looks like that went to April O'Neil for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character bit war.
Nice, nice, nice. Right, so let's focus on this one. Lots of sideways jumps! Oh, that was a little bit too off, sadly. There we go, because you have to do this sideways jump, which is definitely not easy. And we're slowly closing in on the end. As you can see, the ending is right here, but we have a few more obstacles to go through. And that should be the one. This should be the last one. So tech, get ready. Time. Oof.
GG.
Yeah, that's 23 something, probably 24, I guess.
Your time is 22 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, it's a little bit off from my PB on this, but it's definitely a pretty manageable run at the very least. It's a very funny game to play, to be fair, so if you want to actually get your hands in this game, don't hesitate. The leaderboard accepts emulator, so if you don't have the game, it's fine, you can use emulator, but, you know, if you happen to lay your hands on the cartridge, it's better. Like, the experience is just better on the real cartridge. A little bit more janky as well. The jankiness is just so much amplified, and it's so much better with it. Anyhow, so yeah. Thank you very much for BSG for accepting this run, and I will leave you with Juho, who's going to present his run. So yeah, see you everyone, and see you next time, maybe.
Yeah, thank you very much for running. As Ulvind said, next up we have Juhorse, who's going to run Suzuki Bakuhatsu, so don't go anywhere if you want to see that.